And hello to another live. My name is Prash K, and I'm the founder of Urban Spirituality and Stress to Success. And I come to you today to talk about another subject on our 4-day wellness boost that we're doing at the moment in the lead up to this Saturday, the 3rd of June's Urban Spirituality 1-day mega retreat. So we're doing this little powerful challenge over the next few days. Yesterday we talked about mental wellness, and we touched on the importance of how we can cultivate mental wellness through specific techniques. And today, by learning about the power of saying no. So if you haven't checked that out, go check that out. I talked about how to manage healthy boundaries and learning to say no. Now, in this video, in this live, I want to talk about emotional wellness. So it goes without saying that emotional wellness is very important for all of us. We need to be able to tap in to our emotions and manage our emotions appropriately in order to have a sense of wellness. Why is it important? Obviously, if we are well emotionally, then the way we show up in the world is the best version of ourselves. We can be the best father, brother, husband, son, daughter, mother. We show up as the best or the better version of ourselves when our emotional wellness is good, when it's consistent. Now, of course, emotions go up and down. We all suffer emotions, but to maintain a generally steady state of positive emotions is where we want to head. And emotional wellness, therefore, is key for us to show up in a good way, both in and out of the workplace, at home, for our people, for our families, for our relationships, so on and so forth. So, the area of emotional wellness that I want to talk about today, an area that a tool to help us to improve our emotional wellness so we can be the better version or the best version of ourselves on a regular basis in the workplace, at home, in our social lives, is journaling. So what is journaling? I think most of you will have heard of journaling in some way, shape or form. And for many people, journaling sounds like a dark art. A lot of people, even when I heard journaling, I thought, I'm not a writer. In fact, on our retreats, a lot of people, when we talk about journaling, when we introduce it, people think, oh my God, that's not for me. I'm not a writer. I don't have enough attention span. I get bored easily. I don't like writing with my hand. So many objections and pre-connotations come up in the mind that they present a barrier to something that's actually very easy and very cathartic to do. And that is what journaling in its essence can be. So, what is journaling? Well, let's say what it's not. It's not spending hours and hours every day writing a long essay. It could be, but usually not. Journaling is a process that is usually intuitional. It is done on the fly. It is done in the moment, or it is scheduled, but it is done in a way that allows the contents of the mind and the heart to be expressed in some sort of external form. Now that could be a written form, handwritten, or it could be typed up if you really want to type on your phone. It's not excluded. But it's the idea of bringing those things out. Now what are we bringing out? We're bringing out our thoughts, our emotions, our ideas, our feelings about something. Why is that relevant? Journaling gives us a gateway to start to capture our thoughts. I think many of you, if you perhaps look back in your previous generations, maybe your parents or grandparents used to keep a diary or some sort, and they would write in the diary. You know, people have maintained diaries for many decades, many centuries. Many great philosophers, leaders, thinkers, scholars, and influencers around the world for decades and generations have kept some sort of diary or journaled in some way. So it's certainly an activity that we find in leaders and people who are successful. And therefore I think it's a great avenue for us to take advantage of in order to improve our wellness, our emotional wellness. So how can journaling look forth? So a couple of tips and ideas how we can do journaling. Journaling could be something you set aside a little bit of time for every day, or it could be certain times a week. Or if you feel that that's not suitable for you right now, then it could be just something that you just start to choose to do at some point during the week when you feel inspired, or when you feel down, or when you feel like you need to get something off your chest or get something out of your head or your heart and share it, pick up a journal, a diary, a blank diary, or on your phone, somewhere private, and start to write or type. So yes, it could be structured. It could be something that you do on a regular basis, daily, for example, and you could set aside time for journaling, and many people do that. They set aside 10-15 minutes a day to journal. Or it could be done spontaneously, or it could be done occasionally. Or I like to do it in a way whereby I tie it with some sort of activity. So for example, when I brush my teeth at night, I know I'm going to brush my teeth at night, so after that I'll spend 10 minutes journaling, reflecting. How has the day been? What emotions came up for me? Or how has the week been if you're not doing it every day? Which leads me on to what it is that we journal about. As I said, you could journal about your emotions in the day. You could journal about the things that have come up for you across the week. You could journal about the thoughts and feelings that you have about a certain incident, a situation, or a person. Or it could be a deep trauma, an old wound, and you just need to write about it bit by bit every day. As you write about your experiences, your thoughts, your feelings, or even your ideas, you may journal and just write ideas that are coming to you. What happens is a certain type of magic, because you're taking the things that are occupying your intellect, your mind, your heart, and giving them shape in the form of handwriting or text on your phone. By giving them shape, there's a mystical transformation and transmutation of those things into a form that can find its fulfillment. So if it's something that you're trying to release, a negative emotion, a trauma, some bad feelings, a situation that's hurt you or a person that's hurt you, and you write about it, you're finding an outlet. Journaling provides an outlet to release that safely. And as you do so, of course, you keep your journal somewhere confidential. As you do so, the emotion, the negative emotions associated with that person, that thing, that situation, that event, they start to dissipate, because you're giving them an external form, an avenue to dissipate and to channel and to leave you, right? To leave your being. By the same token, if you have some positive emotions or some ideas or something that's come to you, some future goals or dreams, when you journal those, you're beginning to give them shape, because you're externalizing them. You're planting the seeds of manifestation of those things when you journal. And there's a connection. Many scientists and psychologists have confirmed the connection between writing or typing, externalizing our thoughts, our feelings, etc., and bringing them to reality. It taps into our subconscious, which is the hidden generator of manifestation that we all have. We all possess that. So let's cover 5 key benefits of journaling. 5 key ones. We've already talked about one. Journaling helps us to dissipate negative emotions such as anxiety, such as anger, such as resentment. Journaling is also good for depression. So if we have a neurological disorder, or if we're neurodivergent, if we have an issue or mild forms of depression, then or regular feeling down, then journaling is a great way to do that, because when you write, you're able to tackle into it. Journaling helps with managing stress. You're less stressful when you can write about the things and the people that pissed you off, because you're just writing it through. Again, it's releasing, it's finding its avenue to release. Then, more positively, journaling helps us to reflect. It helps us to shine a mirror on ourselves, and that allows us to see how we can improve in our own day-to-day life, and how we show up in our workplace, in our homes, in our families, in our communities. Journaling allows us to act as a mirror for self-reflection, and through that self-reflection, through that cognitive diffusion, we are able to start to refine our character. One of the people I deeply value is Abraham Lincoln, and how he showed up in the world, how he dealt with so many difficult things, and he had his own diary. He would document his feelings, his writings. Another one is Paramahamsa Yogananda, the great, very great sannyasi, the great monk who wrote Autobiography of a Yogi, which is probably the most well-read book on contemporary spirituality in the world. Autobiography of a Yogi. If you haven't checked it out, do check it out. And lastly, journaling also helps with recovery. So if you have experienced some sort of trauma or post-traumatic stress disorder or other such traumatic condition, ancient wounds. Journaling or an addiction, for example, substance abuse, substance addiction, or gambling, or sex, or pornography and so forth. Journaling again gives us a tool to help us to recover. And what that means is the real version of ourselves starts to show up through our writing, through our journaling, because there's nobody looking or listening to what we're writing. So the fear of being judged is removed. We're not being judged when we're writing, when we're journaling, because it's just us. We're the only ones who are going to see it, assuming you don't want anyone to see it. Journaling is deeply personal. And for that reason, it means that you're free from the concerns about how you'll be judged. And that means that you can write authentically. And when you write and outpour authentically, it means that you start to be able to reflect and refine and recover from the things, those traumas that you've had, or the addictions that we've had, because you can be very candid. And just by writing that, some of you have experienced perhaps the 12-step process. One of the aspects is maintaining a diary and journaling. It's a wonderful tool to help us to find a path to recovery. And of course, a path to recovery and freedom from anxiety, depression, negative emotions allows us to improve ultimately our emotional wellness. And that means that we show up as a better us, a better you, a better me for the people that really matter, starting with us. So I hope that's been of value, and that you can use this in some way in your life, or share this video with somebody, or this audio, if you're listening to it on the podcast, with somebody who they can benefit from this, and they can start it in a gentle way. There are plenty of tools and resources on the internet that you can use, guides and templates for journaling as well. And of course, you can keep it as simple as just having a notepad on your phone, pulling it up and writing away, and just password protecting it if you choose to. So hope that's been well. And of course, as always, do check out the actual podcast, Urban Spirituality, on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, YouTube, the channel, and dive into many of the episodes where there is wisdom on the go, short 5-10 minute pieces of wisdom that can be usable and beneficial to all who listen. That's it. I will catch up with you very soon. Namaste. And for those of you who are sticking around, I leave you with a final invite for the retreat coming this Saturday, the 3rd of June, our mega one-day retreat, 12 hours from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. of powerful, immersive activities to uplift you, body, mind, spirit, and intellect, and hence an upgrade to your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual wellness. It's an hour out of central London. There are literally a couple of spaces left. So if you're interested, or if you feel called to do that and invest in yourself, drop me a line or my team, and we'll catch up, have a chat, see if it's a good fit, and welcome you on board. Okay, that's it. Peace out. Namaste.